one thing that's actually interesting to try to get your students to do, or we'll have you do it here in a second, is to look at this wall of rock and make observations about it. Not try to make any interpretations about it. One thing we're going to stress kind of throughout the time you're here is to start with your observations. That's going to come when you're identifying fossils, looking at the geology, etc. Try to back it out to what is the actual thing I'm seeing, get that sorted out, make sure you're in agreement with people around you about what you're seeing, and then try to make an interpretation about it. That's, core principle of all scientific work is to separate that observation from the interpretation. And it's really easy to get those things kind of jumbled together, because oftentimes it's a series of observation and interpretation, but so standing looking at this outcrop now, they don't have just any observations. You don't need to have like a meaning for what you're seeing. What kind of observations are you seeing here?
Different colored bands.
Yes, there's some different. Perfect. So you're seeing some different colors, and you also mentioned when you said they're bands, that implies something about how they're organized. So yeah, so they're layered in some way. You can see and hopefully you can see that there's some colored stripes running across the outcrop. And when we say outcrop, what we mean is a place where the bedrock is exposed, and that's what we all want to find, because that's where you can see the rocks and see the geology, etc. Other observations you see about this outcrop? Yeah.
The rock on it breaks up a lot.
Yeah,
It goes from large to pretty fine.
So you can see a lot of material that's come down this slope. One thing, we'll talk about this again with the fossils as well, is rocks and fossils don't roll uphill. They always go downhill. And that's actually a useful principle, because you can use it like if you're crawling along finding fossils or thinking about, like, well, this rock, I know it didn't come from down there, but it may have come from somewhere way up this hill. And keeping in mind that if it's not attached to the rock, it could be something that's fallen down and things like that. Other observations, yes.
I feel like if I were to touch it, it would crumble. Dry.
Yeah, there's definitely some observation about the texture to it on the surface. This texture where you see it, like this sort of stuff that you're talking about, is commonly called popcorn. That's actually, that observation usually has an interpretation associated with it that there is a type of clay in there that as it gets wet, swells up, and then when it dries, shrinks out. And that's what gives it that sort of cracked surface on the top. Awesome. Do you have an observation?
I was kind of saying the same thing. It looks bubbly. Yeah.
And so some of these things were things I'll try to get you guys in a minute to come over here and actually look at it close. But before we do that, I want to talk about one of the tools that we use as geologists